Introducing the Payroll Management Tutorial Application, a user-friendly, fast, and easy-to-use platform designed to streamline payroll processes. Application includes the following features: Payroll page, Summary page, Bank page, Employee page, Settings page, and more. Get ready to explore the fantastic features of the application. So buckle up and let's dive right in. I'm on the payroll sheet. To get started, let's add a new team member. To do this, just click on the Employee button, and you will be taken to the Employees page. After that, click on the New Employee button to create a new record. All the fields will be cleared, and the highlighted fields are mandatory, so make sure to fill them out. If any of the required fields are left empty, a pop-up window will appear after clicking on Save and Update, reminding you to complete the necessary information. Until all the required fields are filled, you won't be able to save the record. Also, you have the option to click on the Cancel button in case you need to cancel the action. If you decide to cancel, the last record will be displayed. Let's click on the New Employee button again to add a new record. Fill in the employee details in the highlighted fields. Begin by providing the ID, employee name, bank account, and nationality. These details are essential for accurate payroll calculations, especially for local and expat employees. Specify the pay type and ensure that the salary is entered on an annual basis. For example, if your monthly salary is $1,000, the annual salary will be $12,000 multiplied by 12 months. The system will automatically divide the annual salary based on the frequency chosen by the user on the settings page. We will discuss the settings page later. After completing all the required fields, simply click on the Save and Update button to securely store the record in our database. Another great feature is the ability for users to add a personal photo to the record. To do this, simply click on the Add Pic button and select the desired photo of the employee. After selecting the photo, click the Save and Update button to save it. It's also possible to delete the photo if needed. Note that any changes made in the form or photo will only be saved if the user clicks on the Save and Update button. Make sure to click it whenever changes are made to avoid any loss of data. Now, in the second part of the employee page, you can easily add multiple attachments such as Word documents, PDFs, and images. This allows you to navigate and find the required information, such as CPR and contracts, without the need to go through various files and spend time searching. Simply select the employee ID, and all the attachments will be conveniently organized in one place. Before you start using these features, there is one thing to do. You should go to the Settings page and click on the Select Folder button in the Default Employee Attachments section. A pop-up window will appear, allowing you to choose where to save all the attachments. Once you have selected the folder, the address will be displayed in the Default Employee Attachment field. Now, let's go back to the employee page. Click on the Add Attachment button and choose the type of attachment you want to add. Once you have made the selection, the file will be shown as a thumbnail. You can click on the thumbnail to open the attachment or use the Open Attachments button to access the attached file. Additionally, the application will create a folder for each employee using their names and save their attachments accordingly. This ensures that each employee's attachments are neatly organized within their respective folders. Furthermore, you also have the ability to delete any attachment. Simply select the attachment in the row and click on the Delete Attachment button. This application is designed to be extremely user-friendly while offering powerful capabilities. Before moving to the payroll page, I'd like to bring up an important point. If a user accidentally assigns an existing ID to a new employee when attempting to add them, the application will prevent the creation of two employees with the same ID. It is essential for each employee to have a unique ID at all times. On the payroll page, you will find payroll details that display information about employees. Simply select an employee from the list below in the Selected Paid Period Employees section, and their details will appear in the Payroll Details section. Let's create the first payroll and update the necessary fields for the first time, like the GOSI, Deduction, and Addition sections. To create the payroll, follow these friendly steps. 1. Select the payroll range by choosing the desired period from the drop-down list in the Selected Pay Period Employees section. The date format follows the USA format, starting with the month, then day, and finally the year. 2. After selecting the date range, click on Step 1, Add New Payroll. A list of employees will appear below. 3. Click on Step 2, Save Payroll to save the payroll. If, for any reason, you forget to save, a pop-up window will remind you to save it first. 4. Once the payroll is saved, you have the option to select all employees, bulk, option, or each employee one by one. It is recommended to select each employee one by one for the first payroll creation. From the second month onwards, the application will retrieve and automatically update the previous month's payroll. You can make adjustments by selecting an employee's name and updating the record in the Additional or Deductions section. Remember to click on Save and Next to save any changes made. 5. For GoZ, General Organization for Social Insurance calculations, the application will automatically calculate the appropriate amounts based on whether the employee is Bahraini or an expat. You can also manually update each employee's data by selecting them individually. After updating the data, click on Step 3, Save and Next Employee to save any changes made to their record. After saving, the application will check the box next to each saved record before moving on to the next. 6. For the initial setup, please update the records one by one for each user and save them individually. Once you have finished updating all the records, the status will change to completed. If the list is not complete, you won't be able to proceed to the payroll summary page. If you attempt to access the payroll summary page without completing the list, a pop-up window will appear reminding you to complete the payroll. After saving the final record, please click on the Step 2, Save Payroll button again to change the status to completed. Now, you can proceed by clicking on the Payroll Summary button to review all the employee records and confirm them. Now, let's create a bulk or all employee by simply clicking the button to update all payroll in one click. We can easily create a new payroll for the month of November by following the same steps as before. First, select a date from the drop-down list, and then click on Step 1, Add the New Payroll button. Next, click on Step 2, Save Payroll. This time, click on the Update All Payroll button, which will retrieve the previous month's data and update it. You have the ability to make changes to deductions and additions, and then simply click on the Save and Next button to save any modifications. It's important to remember to save the changes, otherwise the updates won't be saved and the payroll won't be complete for the month. This powerful application offers a very friendly user experience with incredible speed and accuracy. With just a single click, you can easily complete the payroll for any number of employees. Now, let's go ahead and add overtime. Before the user adds overtime, they need to open the timesheet and input the overtime data. Alternatively, they can link it to the checking in out system. Once we have the data in the timesheet, our application will take care of the overtime calculation. For employees who have overtime, there are a few scenarios to consider. Firstly, if they work more than 8 hours, some employees will receive a salary regardless of whether they work less or more. On the other hand, there are employees who only receive overtime if they work more than 8 hours. Now, the question is, how do we differentiate between those who should receive overtime and those who don't? It's quite simple. For employees who don't have overtime, just leave the overtime field blank. For those who are eligible for overtime, follow these steps. 1. Divide the annual salary by 12 months. 2. Take the result and divide it by 30 days. 3. Lastly, divide the result by 8 hours. This will give you the overtime rate. Input this rate in the overtime rate field. Once all this is done, the overtime will be calculated. You can update the payroll for all employees by clicking on the Update All Payroll button. If you only want to update the payroll for a specific employee, select the employee and click on Save and Next Employee. The record will be saved in the employee database. This process can only be done once or if the basic salary has been changed. After updating and saving the payroll, the user can easily check the total gross payroll and net payroll for the month. This can be done by selecting the desired date range. Additionally, the user can view individual employee details by selecting a specific employee. The hourly summary and pay summary will display relevant information. In the hourly summary, the total regular hours will be calculated automatically if the timesheet is updated for all employees. This will also include the calculation of total overtime hours, total overtime pay, total regular pay, basic salary, and the overall total gross pay. Moving on to the pay summary section, the user can obtain the total net pay by subtracting gross pay from GoC and other deductions while adding other additional amounts. For a more detailed review, simply click on the Pay Summary or Payroll Summary button to open a detailed payroll sheet. Then, select the desired date range from the drop-down list to generate a report for review. If everything looks fine, the user can choose to print the report for signature by clicking the Print button or export it by clicking the Export Payroll Summary button to send it via email. Once the Export button is clicked, a soft copy of the report will be generated for saving and emailing purposes. If after careful review, the user confirms that everything is correct, they have the ability to export the payroll in a bank format. This can be done by copying the information to the original file provided by the bank and sending it to the bank promptly. Now, click on the Settings sheet and you will see a setting page opening up. On this page, you can modify any field and the changes will be reflected in the application. For instance, you can add or alter fields. Let's take the example of adding a test to the pay deduction. Simply click on the Payroll button and select the Drop List menu in Deduction. You will see the test being displayed in the list. The user can apply this for any field shown on the setting page. This way, the user has the flexibility to customize the application according to their requirements.